Hey YouTube, appreciate you clicking on the video. Today I'm going to be talking about Marvel's Avengers beta. There are a couple of things that I find to be a little bit off with it, and a couple of things that I find to be really good, or a lot of things that I feel like could potentially make this game really good. For $60, let's talk about it. Right, so I'm gonna preface a couple of first impressions here on what I actually think. Going into the game, graphically stunning. Voice acting maybe has a little. It's just there's something that kind of feels off of it. But for positives, a lot of explosions, a lot of cool Avenger, Marvel, action-packed superheroes that seem really cool. It's tough with the beta because I understand it's not the full story. It's not the full, the full experience of what's happening. So you get thrust into this, the story in the middle of what it's happening, because I'm sure it's like one of the most action-packed part of the game. So it makes it really easy to like draw people in, saying like, "Whoa, cool! We can explode things and throw things across the map, and this, that, and the other, and you have cool fighting techniques and cool things that happen here and that sort of stuff." So I can understand from a developing marketing, combo, you want to push forward part of your best foot. The hardest part is you don't really know what's going on when you start playing it, right? So you get thrust into this action-packed area, but there's no setup on what's actually happening. And so you've got these random guys attacking this random bridge, or the San Francisco bridge is what it looks like, Golden Gate Bridge. But you have these random guys just attacking, and these, and the Avengers are going to save the day, but you're like, you don't really have any clue of, the backstory of where the bad guys come from. You don't have any clue on where the characters are at in the story in and of themselves. It seems like there's anyway, I understand it's a beta. I understand that I can't read into it too far, like giving it a full review or anything like that. But that's just where I came from, and that's where I felt, is that it was just kind of like you're thrust into the middle of something and you don't really know what's going on. And so with that, while the graphics look cool, while explosions look cool, while things are perpetuated to be very interesting with the game, there is something lacking with how combat works, with how the flow of the game, the cool. There were some times where I had really cool strings of combo attacks that made it feel like I was like super overpowered or super great. But it's not fluid all the time. And here's where a downfall of the thing is: you have Marvel Spiderman that came out in the PS4 exclusive, and it was fantastic. It was super great. Fluid combat. It was really fun to play. You weren't straining to like look at an enemy and then try to find them and that sort of stuff. But Spidey just like jumped from enemy to enemy and was killing, and like going back and forth. And this one, it feels like recognition of enemies is too short. So even though I'm looking at an enemy or toward an enemy, I'm not actually getting an indicator for my hero to actually go toward that enemy. It seems like I was having to drag the camera a lot in order to try and get a new enemy to pop up, even though I could see it on the screen, which was just a downplay. It made combat more clunky. It made combat not as smooth. And it turned out that I was having to get the enemy directly into the middle of the screen in order for me to actually see them. And then there were times where the enemy was maybe too far away and I had to run over to them before. And so combat just felt like it was like, a couple of hit combos, and then it was like downplay and like, run over to the next enemy's vicinity before. And that's where I feel like Spider-Man was just so much more prevalent, so much more heightened and above. I know I'm saying this way late, 3 or 4 weeks through the beta. It makes it, less time for anybody, if anybody ever sees this, to actually make some changes with it. But it just seemed like combat was a lot slower and not as jaw-dropping as what Marvel Spider-Man was. And so that's really hard for Square Enix to try and replicate what Insomniac Games did with Marvel Spider-Man. But man, I mean, if you're going to put the Marvel tag on there, you're going to need to have close to the same feel of a game. Now, with that, and since it's a different studio, I do think that they did some things really, really well. And I feel like there's a lot there for a grind culture to be able to get better gear, get better, get resources to upgrade your gear, get better gear, so on and so forth. And I think there's a lot that this game could offer, a lot that this game could actually put forth for the community, and things could be great. But with what the beta showed, it just doesn't seem like there's enough or a big enough push to really put me at the $60 mark. I could see where you could, like, for me personally, I could get some content out of it. I could play through the story. That could be a playthrough YouTube series. I could entertain my chat for my watching whatever Wednesday show that I do on Wednesday nights. And so there's some things there that could really, benefit or do well. And then there's a multiplayer feature, which I think is great. So you can team up and have different heroes for different people and all go into battle together, or the mission together. And so while I think there's good efforts and there's strong correlations on different things, the gameplay itself seems just a tad underneath what the other one was, which I understand. It's going to be very difficult to have, the one of the greatest superhero games be right before what your game comes out. So it's hard to live up to. And plus you're having to do a lot of different characters and how they, as far as Hulk, Captain America, Iron Man, Miss Marvel, Black Widow, like there's a slew of characters that you've got to make happen as far as code all these different characters and try to make them all feel seamless in their combat routines, even though they fight differently and do different things. But I still just feel that it's just not like, I feel like it's enemy detection is really what needs to be integrated with it. Anyway, I'm going to get off my soapbox on that part. Going into the game, each hero has like a set of gear that they can get through doing missions and improve upon by getting resources throughout the game. I'm not sure how much it goes across. I think the resources can be pushed across, but any gear that you get inside of a mission is solely toward that hero. As far as like Hulk can upgrade his like spine, his chest, his skull, blah 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 blah. So it's like his gear, and then the quote unquote gear, and then you have like Iron Man can get like a different, I don't know, head thing or rocket launcher or something. I don't know, wrist stuff. As far as like repulsors maybe or something. I'm not exactly sure on each part. I'm not going to go into an in-depth of each one. But anyway, you can upgrade this gear to make your characters better, have more power, be more effective, XYZ. Doing that really showed improvement as far as when playing. So I played with Spider-Man maybe 2 or 3 missions and didn't change any of my gear. Then the next mission when I changed my gear and updated stuff, it actually it made my attacks way more effective and way more relevant. Which was a good feeling, and it was nice to see the beta. I'm sure that the game would take a longer grind in order to try and get that much of a upgrade, but it was nice to see that actually get pushed forward as far as being able to feel that in the beta, how relevant the upgrades could be. And so with that, you also have a skill upgrade tier. Now, it looks like to me all they're doing with skill upgrades is that as you level a character and get more experience for them and level them up, it moves that character into a new skill. Like as far as when you get a new level, you get a new skill, and then you just use one skill point to unlock one thing. It doesn't seem like there's like a strive on this skill-based stuff. It's just use the character to get stuff, and then you can unlock a new ability, whether that's a new hit combo, whether that's a new move as far as like using triangle or holding circle or using circle, to just get a different set of skills or a different set of attack. It doesn't seem like there's much of a grind for it as far as like getting the XP determines how much you can actually upgrade somebody. It's just you get one skill, you can unlock a new thing. It's just very straightforward. One to one. I don't know if that'll change within the real game or anything like that. But that aside, I feel like the beta put forth a decent effort. It's just rough for them to have to follow up after such a great game. Last and something that's really detrimental, I'm not sure if the missions are going to be like this in the main game, but man, missions are so quick. You go in, you run to a certain spot, you do whatever needs to happen at that certain spot, like kill a wave of enemies or, you know, whatever, hold down a certain point, blah, 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 blah. And then it's like you go into a second challenge phase or whatever. Like you go to a different spot and you do the second challenge phase of whatever that is, whether it's like trying Jarvis having to, you know, hack into the bunker or something like that, or I don't know, just something small and insignificant, or like another little staged battle that might have some difficulty but not necessarily too difficult. And then once you get through that second part, the mission's done and it's like mission complete. You did whatever you needed to do, whether that was like blow up a bunker or control a bunker or defeat these enemies, or like, you know, do this little thing for this certain character or something, you know, whatever it was. You finish it, you're done, and it's just so quick. It's just flash in the pan. And so I feel like there's a lot of queuing done instead of, you know, the actual playing of the game. It just doesn't seem like there's too much going on with it. But on the flip side of that, there are a ton of missions, a ton of different things that you could do, especially in a beta. There were a bunch of different ones, different sceneries, different scenarios. And I noticed that on the Warzone map or whatever you want to call it, the war table that they were using, you could scroll that globe all the way across the globe. So they could go into a lot of different stuff, and then they could throw in some DLC if they wanted to. They could make the game last for a really, really, really long time. But like I said, you're while having all of these features and all of these niceties to make it seem like there's a nice grind to it, your gameplay just feels like it's a little bit lacking. The combat system's rough. The missions are really short. And then it's just the maybe it's just because I was playing on normal and not hard or super hard or whatever, mastery, legendary difficulty or anything like that. But it just seems like you're just walking through the game and you're not. I don't know. It's like I said, I can't really put my thumb on what's going on and what's wrong with it. But I definitely feel like there's a way that it could be improved, and I feel like it's just the combat system. If the combat system was more fluid and shifting from enemy to enemy, I feel like you would have a much solid game. It's at a point, like Timmy was saying in chat. Timmy was just saying, he's like, I really want to love the game, and I feel like there's a lot there that makes me want to play it, but it's just a little lacking. It's just a little lacking. And so, knowing me, I'll probably eventually get it just to play it. There doesn't seem like everything is getting pushed back. So if they throw this out in front of my face, I will probably play it. New content, new game, fun, all that sort of stuff. But it just seems like there's just not quite enough. And so we'll see where it goes. Anyway, these are my first impressions and my first thoughts. Tell me what you think down in the comments down below. Did you like the beta that they threw out there for Avengers, or did you not? Tell me what you think they should improve upon, any of that sort of stuff. Would love to hear it down below. Leave a like, hit the subscribe button if you want to see more of these initial reaction reviews of different games. Would love to see you come by the Twitch channel. I stream every single day, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on twitch.tv/footballfreak215. Links are in the description down below. I hope you have a wonderful day. I don't think I have too much more to say. I've put all my plugs out there. Would love to see you in the Twitch channel. See you guys in the next video. I'm out of here. Toodaloo, sayonara, adios.